Stick around, ladies and gentlemen, because we knocking out bread pudding. So the first thing you need to do, preheat your oven to 300 degrees. Now back over to our prepping area, we get slicing and dicing. So what I have here is a large French bread, roughly 20 inches in length, 5 inches in width. That's what she said. Now most people, they buy their bread a few days before actually making bread pudding, let it sit out and let it get stale. I purchased this one yesterday, and I'm gonna go ahead and cut it up, then throw it in the oven and let it toast up in there. I know many bread pudding enthusiasts are gonna be like, you have to go with stale bread. Look, I get it, it's delicious, but not everyone thinks that far in advance. So here is a fun little trick to get that great bread pudding consistency. Let's go. Okay, so first we're gonna slice this thing down the middle 2 different ways. One way here and one way here. And there we go. All right, now I'm gonna go ahead and slice all the way across about 1 inch apart and just cut it up into little chunks. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. So we're gonna move all of this to a pan and throw it in the oven. All right, we're gonna let these toast up for 30 minutes. I know that might seem like a long time, but trust me. Okay, so back over at the prepping area, we've got a 9x12 baking dish here, and we're gonna butter it up using this half stick of butter. Just gonna get the bottom real good, make sure we get all along the sides, the corners, just rub it down really good. Just like that. Now look, we didn't use all the butter, but we're not gonna let this go to waste. We're gonna melt it down and add it to our mix here in just a moment. Okay, so we got the butter that we used to butter up the dish and another half stick. We're just gonna get that melted and let it cool. Time to get this out. There we go. All right. And that is how we do it, ladies and gentlemen. So basically what you're left with is some hard croutons. But don't worry, you're not gonna have crunchy bread pudding. We're gonna add a lot of moisture back to this. We just basically evaporated the water out of the bread so it can allow our other ingredients to bind beautifully. It's all gonna work out in the end. Now look, don't turn the oven off. We're gonna cook this bread pudding at 300 degrees. All right, we've moved our bread to a large bowl, and now we will get mixing on all of our ingredients. Okay, so over here we have 6 large eggs. I'm gonna go ahead and scramble them up. And there you go. Let's get mixing. All right, we're gonna go ahead and add our wet ingredients first. We got our 6 scrambled eggs. 1 tablespoon of vanilla extract. Our melted butter. 1 quart of heavy whipping cream. There we go. 1 14-ounce can of sweetened condensed milk. And it's tough to get all of it out, so I'll show you what I like to do. 1 12-ounce can of evaporated milk, but I'm only going to pour about half of it. I'm going to take the other half and pour it in this sweetened condensed milk can. And I'll stir things around up in there and then pour that back into the bowl. Mix that around. Get all this stuff right here too. And pour that in. There we go. All right, gonna raise this thing up to get it ready for mixing. I am. Gonna turn the mixer on to a low setting. And then we will add in our dry ingredients. First, 1½ cups of granulated sugar. Get in there. Next, 2 teaspoons of cinnamon. And I like to sprinkle it in so that it doesn't really clump up. There we go. And 1/4 teaspoon of nutmeg. And we're just gonna let that blend beautifully. That's a wrap. Look at all those pretty specks. That is beautiful. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're back over to the bread. We're going to take this mixture we have here and we're going to pour it all over the top of our bread. There we go. All right, next we will gently put a layer of cling wrap over this right here. Gotta always finagle this because it never wants to work properly. And just kind of push it down in there like this. Okay, there we go. Okay, from here you want to take another bowl that can fit over the top of this that has some water in it. Weigh it down and then just let it sit over the top so that way all the wet ingredients can come up. And if you see it's not coming up enough, you're going to have to look down in the cracks. I can't really show you guys too well, but if it's not coming up enough, you just add more water to this. Make sure it really weighs it down. And then you may have to finagle up in there, you know, to make sure that they really getting soaked up good. So just play around with it. Look through the edges, get it to where all the bread is covered, and that should work. All right, I played with mine around a little bit here, and I got it all the way in there, so I'll even show you guys. But you see how it's soaking it up good in there? Got it all the way down. Seemed to fit perfectly once I added a lot more water, but that's what you want. You want the bread to really all soak up the moisture that's in there. And we're going to let it sit like this for 30 minutes. All right, guys, so we're about halfway through the 30-minute time here, and I'm taking some of these bottom ones and bringing them to the top. Because even though the stuff comes up along the sides, I still find those bottom ones soak up a lot more. So we're just going to make sure these top ones get down in all the goodness as well. All right, so we're just going to cover that back up and repeat those steps. All right, we are good to go, ladies and gentlemen. Pulling this off right here. It has soaked up the goodness. All right, let's dump the bread mixture into the dish. There we go. There we go. All right, now we just kind of want to gently get everything in there, flat as much as we can. So that the liquid really comes to the top and everything's soaked in there real good. All right, looks good. So we're gonna go ahead and cover this up and get it in the oven. Okay, we're gonna bake this for 1 hour and 30 minutes covered. And then after that, we'll take the foil off and let it cook another 30 minutes. Time to get that foil off. Oh, that is looking good. Here we go. Ooh, look at this thing. Oh my. Ooh, buddy. So we're gonna let this thing cool for like 30 minutes. Meanwhile, in a separate pot, we're gonna make a rum sauce. Let's get this bad boy heated up. So we're gonna lower this to like a medium-low heat. Just let it get heated up. Now to this pot, we will add 1/2 stick of butter. Get yourself melted. Once the butter is melted, drop in 1/4 cup of a light brown sugar and begin stirring quickly. Now that that is melted in, you can go ahead and add 1/2 tablespoon of vanilla extract. Ooh, start stirring. Once you've got a smooth consistency like this here, you're going to add 1/4 cup of a dark rum. But watch out. It's going to steam up quick. Also, don't be alarmed if you think this is a lot of alcohol. It's going to cook out. You'll see right here. There it goes. And just keep stirring it. We add it in early like this so we can cook the alcohol out. All right, after blending that in for a couple minutes, you can go ahead and add 1/2 cup of whole milk. Go ahead and stir that around. Next, we will add 1/4 cup of powdered sugar. Go ahead and blend that in. All right, I'm adding another 1/4 cup of milk. The posted recipe will call for 3/4 cup of milk, but we add 1/2 cup of milk to the sauce early on to mix in with the powdered sugar, and then another 1/4 here that we're going to go ahead and mix 1 tablespoon of cornstarch to. And I'm probably going to have to scoop that in. All right, we mix this in so it blends smoothly. The reason why we do this is because if you just add cornstarch to hot liquid, it's going to clump up and almost make like these little jellies in your sauce, and you don't want that. But we do it like this. We could blend it in real smooth and add it in there, and then it'll bring about a nice consistency to our rum sauce. Okay, so what we want to do is pour and stir, pour and stir. Get it in there so it'll blend evenly. And this is going to help thicken the sauce. All right, once we know we got it in there really good, we're going to turn our heat up to where we bring this to a boil. All right, once it starts boiling, you turn it off and just keep stirring. Just keep stirring it as it cools down. And there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Rum sauce. Ooh, boy, let me tell you, that looks good. All right, so there's a couple different ways you can go about serving. You can cut a square of this and put it on a plate and serve the sauce on the side, or you can drizzle it over the top from there, however you like. I'm just going to take the sauce and pour it all over this dish right here. You know, some people might cringe at that, but hey, to each their own. So here we go. Bam! That is beautiful. Awesome. Let's cut into this bad boy. Oh man, that is tender. Yes, indeed. Let me tell you, when you make bread pudding, your entire house smells like a really good bakery. It just makes you drool for hours on hours. You know, having this dangling in front of me right now, I'm drooling. Oh, man. It smells amazing, guys. It looks really good. Let's take a bite. That's what you like, that moistness. Ooh. Oh man. It just melts in your mouth. It has that classic bread pudding texture, which if you've never had bread pudding, it's almost kind of an acquired taste, because some people may not necessarily like the texture, but it's like a moist cake, you know? If I can put it however it should be described, it's like a very moist cake. It's not quite pudding, it's not quite bread, it's bread pudding. Oh man, that's so good. You know, and that's the consistency I like it. You know, just where it's like barely holding together there, and it's just, you know, kind of jiggly. Oh. And look, the rum sauce came out great. It has that good hint of rum without the alcohol. You know, I mean, that's what you're trying to do if you're gonna let your kids eat this. But you know, it's blended well with the butters and the sugar, and it's just this creamy, buttery rum flavor. You know, rum punch. Some of y'all gonna know what I mean. Well, all right, ladies and gentlemen, we knocked out bread pudding. You guys been asking for this one for a long time, so I hope you enjoy it. Now look, is it the world championship of bread puddings? I'm not saying that. It's really good, but there's a lot of great cooks out there. So make it your own, do what you want. Look, there's some people who like to add raisins, go for it. If you want a boozier rum sauce, add you a little more. If I was making it and you said, that's too much, then tone it down. You do you, okay? All right, the rest of you guys, y'all are freaking awesome. I don't even have to say anything. Just keep on crack-a-lacking. Get out of here. Pay-ya!